Time to talk all things mixed martial arts with our guy, Luke Thomas. Check him out. He's the senior editor at MMAfighting.com. And Luke, we had the weigh-ins today in Sacramento. The Karate Hottie taking on 12-gauge Paige VanZant in the main event. They danced after the official weigh-in. It seems like there's not a whole lot of bad blood between these two. But what'd you make of the weigh-ins today?
Yeah, not everyone has to hate each other to perform. And here's the truth of the matter. I bet you the fight tomorrow will be super gritty. You know, sometimes you see guys face off and it's angry and the fight isn't great. Sometimes you see them face off and they're angry and it is. And every combination in between. And this is another one of those where, you know, it's nice to see women have a different side. They can get nasty in each other's faces too, but you don't often see two guys necessarily doing a dance off afterwards. But I just mean, whatever the case is, I don't think, if you're worried that will have some kind of impact on the fight, not you, of course, but maybe your viewers, Paige VanZant will bring it, and Michelle Waterson is a decorated veteran. This will be a great fight.
Look, we saw it. Vegas has it at dead even. It's a pick'em fight. What do you make of it? Do you see it as even as Vegas does?
I think I do. You know, it's a really tough way to fight to call, and here's why. Michelle Waterson is the more technically refined fighter, probably by a wide margin, but she is maybe past her prime-ish. I don't think over the hill, but not saying in her best athletic form of her career. And she's kind of, you know, she's frankly an atomweight fighter. She belongs at 105 pounds. This is a 115-pound fight. You know, Paige VanZant doesn't have the technical refinement or the experience, but she has tons of athleticism on her side, a willingness to get in there and mix it up, and I think a slight size advantage. So as you can see, there's lots of reasons to think either fighter might win. It's just hard to say what's going to happen here.
In this 115-pound division, and obviously it's being billed, you got the Karate Hottie, Paige VanZant, Dancing with the Stars. A lot of notoriety here for maybe things that they've done outside of the octagon. But what's actually at stake inside the octagon when these two ladies go at it tomorrow night?
You know, this is a really interesting fight because the history of the UFC on Fox franchise has basically been the #1 contender show. Now, not every time, not all the time. Sometimes it's been title fights outright. But you get the idea. A lot of times it's been, hey, watch this person win. This #1 contender will eventually move on to pay-per-view or some other way you can watch them. And that's sort of been the modus operandi. And there's been a question about, like, not whether people who fight on Fox don't get more popular. It's a big audience, of course. But whether it's like this direct pipeline to pay-per-view success. And maybe it's not. So what they're doing here is this one doesn't have implications for a title shot. This one doesn't have implications for even being a #1 contender, even if you win. Now, it's an important fight for the division. Let's be clear about that. It puts you in the maybe top 10, top 5, if they're being really generous, kind of status. But I think more what this is about is what's at stake. Being on more high-profile fights, being visible in a way where the UFC machine can put you there. In terms of, like, what it means for their careers, of course, a loss would be bad, a win would be good. But that's the case every time. There's nothing especially unique in that regard that makes it unusual.
We will be watching tomorrow night the main event, 12-gauge Paige against the Karate Hottie. Luke Thomas, check him out at MMAfighting.com.